Coming up on the Sprites Nintendo Show.
The magnetic Joy-Cons on the Nintendo Switch 2 could be the perfect place to sneak a peripheral, and the possibilities are endless. We'll show you our crazy ideas.
We discuss how it took only 25 seconds for Zelda games to be changed forever, apparently.
And we play a new game called 5 Second Review. Can we review some classic Nintendo games in only 5 seconds?
Yeah, but first, unless you've been hog-tied in a cellar somewhere, you'll have seen the reveal trailer for the Nintendo Switch 2. And as the world collectively nodded its head and said, yep, that's Switch 2 alright, we got to thinking.
Now it seems the new magnetic Joy-Cons on the Switch 2 are going to be easier to manage. What's to stop some new peripherals being sandwiched in between, like this?
Yeah, LED lights are an interesting starting idea, so you too can make your Switch look as if it's been designed by a 12-year-old.
Or what about high-end speakers at each side for that luxury sound experience?
Mid-idea. What about a bendy attachment so it's like an articulated bus? Then you wouldn't have to look so much like a praying mantis with arthritis when playing in handheld mode. You just look like an accordion player instead. With arthritis.
Ooh, what about thumb pads like they have on the Steam Deck? Or maybe just a single one like the PS5 controller. It could double as an LED display too. That would be cool.
Hold on, Hev. Shut up. I have just thought of the best idea anyone's ever had about anything ever.
This better not be about an accordion attachment.
Oh, you had to spoil it, didn't you? No, wait. I really have thought of the best idea ever. What about a 3D camera?
They already did that on the 3DS.
No, I mean not a high-end camera on each side of the console that captures your face in 3D. They can use it to create real-time 3D party chats. Good for streamers and all that shit too. Loads of things you could do with 3D.
Yeah, but how would you see it? The screen would need to display 3D too. I shouldn't think people would look very flattering either, being that close. It would be quite difficult to keep your face in frame. Pretty big drain on the battery too. It would also need some sort of...
No, you're supposed to be the positive one. What else have you got?
What about a touch bar, like they have on some laptops?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could access all the home apps like eShop and notifications. You can manage Discord and see your battery life and such. It could even double as a simple messaging keyboard too. Maybe even some games could be
but what
improved
if that
with it.
drain the battery? What happens if your hands fall off? What happens if you shit yourself while typing? What happens if you leave it in your bag and it accidentally types something anti-Semitic?
Don't spoil it just because your best idea ever wasn't very good.
I'm not bothered because I've had an even better idea.
Oh, let's hear it.
Furniture!
You're gonna have to flesh that one out a bit.
Imagine a nice coffee table with a hole in the middle that snugly fits the Switch 2, held in place by magnetic clamps. Then you'd have a nice tabletop game machine right there. You could play chess, poker, Risk, strip poker.
Couldn't we just put the Switch on top of a normal table like we always have?
Or I could just frisbee it into your smug blue f***ing face. What about that?
We pick out some classic Nintendo games and see if we can review them in under 5 seconds each.
And if we can't, hell, they'll still be better than Polygon. Am I right? First one for you, Hev. F-Zero.
Oh, cool frictionless futuristic racer that can get tricky, but it's memorable, fun and fast.
Do me now.
Okay. Wii Sports Resort.
Retarded looking limbless avatars completely waste their time, but at least the weather's nice.
Hell.
What? That wasn't 5 seconds.
It wasn't a review either. Do me again.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Beloved and creative collect-a-thon platformer that's fun, charming and cheeky with memorable characters to meet and worlds to explore.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thank you. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Okay, Hero waves a stick around until his dick falls off, and everything looks like it came out of a Happy Meal.
Oh, hell.
Now what?
You're not playing properly. Give me another.
Super Mario Kart.
Iconic kart racer that's satisfying to play, easy to learn, but tough to master.
You're pretty good at this.
Thank you.
Not as good as me, though. Another one.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Pretty good for a Ubisoft game.
No.
No?
Actually review it.
Right, okay. Bunch of rabbits have their brains removed, and Peach resists the urge to off the Mario Brothers once and for all. Oh, and that Yoshi rabbit thing needs putting down. There's something wrong with him. Lack of a brain, I suppose. Was that 5 seconds?
If we do this one more time, are you going to do it properly?
I am doing it properly. I don't see any difference. I'm reviewing the game. I'm just telling the truth is all. Not some sycophantic gushing like you're doing.
You need to critique the game as broadly and appropriately as possible in a quick sentence. Not say a bunch of rabbits have had their brains removed.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, give me one more and then you could have one last go afterwards.
Super Mario Maker.
Accessible and expansive game that empowers players to design and share intricate Mario levels with great tools and features.
Yeah.
Now, are you ready?
Born ready, baby.
Stop calling me baby. Tetris.
Oh, addictive and timeless puzzle game that brings a whole new meaning to the phrase, shit a brick.
Oh, forget it! The spinning matchup minigame from Super Mario Bros. 3 generates a random discussion topic for us to discuss. Let's go! Darkest game series. Ooh.
Just turn up the brightness if they're too dark.
You know it doesn't mean that. It means thematically dark. Sticking to Nintendo exclusives, of course.
Well, it's obviously the Metroid series.
Is it?
What's darker than the Metroid games? They're all depressing as hell.
I dunno. Zelda can get very dark.
It can also get annoyingly happy too, and I'm convinced Samus hasn't been happy a single day in her life.
But what about Eternal Darkness?
Eternal Darkness? Well done, Hev. You just alienated half the audience.
Yeah, but I'm right though, aren't I? A third-person horror masterpiece for the GameCube. Oh, how we hope it gets re-released one day.
Hey, stop meandering.
Sorry.
I've thought of something even darker than Eternal Darkness.
Fatal Frame?
Luigi's Mansion.
Seriously?
Well, it gets pretty dark if you ask me. Luigi's been tormented and tortured for 3 games now, and considering how well the games have sold, he's probably going to be doing it for the rest of his life. They're only going to get bigger too. I bet Luigi's Mansion 4 will be set in the Burj Khalifa or something. That Poltergust better have a higher setting, because he's going to need something that sucks harder than James Corden to get out of that one.
Ocarina of Time changed Zelda games forever, and did so almost immediately.
The N64 controller is barely worn before we're shown something that not only changes future Zelda games, but also makes you see all the previous 2D entries differently.
Link's dream sequence right at the beginning of the game was a sensory overload. We finally saw the titular characters in 3D, and got right up close and personal with Link and Zelda for the first time.
And Zelda looks bloody terrified. Then Ganondorf shows up like some kind of an evil child catcher. All that's missing is the lollipop and the sack. Pure nightmare fuel.
That's the point, Hell! Before this, the dangers in Zelda games were more abstract and less personal. Now it's like we can feel the rain on our faces. We see the fear in their eyes. It's about saving real people, not just pixelated sprites.
Yeah, now it's more like a soap opera.
Well, that's the beauty of it. This 25-second dream sequence didn't just change Ocarina of Time, it changed how games could tell stories. It arguably did more in 25 seconds than what all the previous Zelda games managed to do in their entirety.
This is of course all just a prophetic dream Link is having, but I prefer the way the real event unfolds when you finally get to it. All Ganondorf does in the end is give Link a magical slap in the face and then ride off into the night. Although to be fair, I'd want to slap that look off his face too.
If there's one thing that separates fully 3D Zelda games from the more traditional top-down ones, is the ability to observe the emotions of each character up close. Even the recent Echoes of Wisdom, while an excellent game in its own right, doesn't deliver the same emotional weight as, say, The Wind Waker or Twilight Princess.
Yeah, well, it was never going to. It's like we're just distant observers pulling the strings from up on high.
That's right! Whenever we discuss top Zelda moments, there's a good chance it's the big emotional ones from the 3D games that spring to mind. And considering this 25-second sequence was our very first introduction to such moments, I'd say Nintendo immediately knocked it right out of the park, and Zelda games have never looked back.
Oh, Zelda games look back all the time. Remasters, remakes, top-down games. The only time Link and Zelda were actually expressive was in The Wind Waker. In Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda looks like she's been perpetually shown a picture of a puppy with a gun to its head, and Link looks like a glass of water with a face drawn on it. Skyward Sword had its moments for sure, like when Zelda recklessly pushes Link to his death, but they were few and far between. Everyone in Twilight Princess looks like they've had a lobotomy.
Are you going somewhere with this?
This sequence didn't change Zelda forever. It changed Zelda for about 2 games before they defaulted back to dullness.
Oh, seriously? Aren't you forgetting Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks?
Oh yeah, sorry, but there's only so much expression one can see on a 256p screen.
We'll be back on the 1st of March with another episode. If you enjoyed this episode, you can say thanks by dropping a like on YouTube or rating the show on Spotify. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.